The Chiefs stomp all over the disrespectful Raiders in Arrowhead, and they proved a point. I think you guys are going to dig this one. I hope you enjoy this win. Raiders going down, Chiefs on the way up in all kinds of different ways. We're going to get into it all here on The Breakdown. Welcome to RGR Football. Welcome back, Chiefs Kingdom. This is Chiefs Kingdom. You can grab one of these, should you like, over in the RGR store. And I want to welcome all of you. I'm Ryan. This is me going rogue for a little bit. Dan will probably be here a little bit. He's just delayed, so you'll hear from Dan as well. This is The Breakdown. We're going to go over my notes, what I took down about this game, and what it tells us about where they are. And as we just saw, the Ravens have just lost. I've been telling you for a couple of weeks, it only takes a loss by the other divisional leaders in order to catapult the Chiefs into the number one seed. Something Patrick Mahomes talked about again this week. And this performance today is definitely what they were talking about. Make sure you like, sub, and hit that bell notification if you're not one of us already. And there'll be links in the stuff in the business for the store, for everything else. You can hit the super chats if you want to support the channel in here. And if you missed this morning, Shawn did a great job with our game day look from the tailgate. And I think I saw something earlier from Stevie, and thank you for the reminder, Stevie. I do want to put this up too. Make sure you check out Shawn's channel. I know this is a weird URL. I'm going to put it in the chat too. It should be clickable at that point, and then I'll put it back in the description. It's also in the description of this morning's video, so you can check that out as well. In fact, let me see if I can go right one right now. And that should go in. Helps if I use the right keyboard, though, because there's too many things going on here, folks. There we go. So that should be the link to Shawn's channel. Shawn does our Great Sunday tailgate video, but he's got his own thing going over there. Make sure you go like and sub to Shawn as well. Let's see. What do we got? A couple of super chats. I want to make sure we get these off the bat. Let's see. Gooch is the first one. Let's all go rogue. Thanks, Gooch. As always, Gooch is one of our biggest supporters, and he runs with Stevie this two-man kind of progression on the Rogue Head Huddle, and they get a lot of guests over there as well. So make sure you watch that on Fridays. And Stevie, you have a very good point. Like, I have my cues all over my notes. 2 punch outs. I mean, just a guy that has been kind of relegated. Kudos for him stepping up and taking his game to the next level. Same thing with Fenton. Fenton didn't hardly practice, just basically walkthroughs all week. So Fenton took a step up. And they mentioned it on the broadcast. You need those guys because you were changing what you were doing with Tyrann Mathieu. And that is significant in and of itself. They said it on the broadcast in kind of a weird way, but it's really a credit to L'Jarius Sneed, who's had a terrible week, and I know we're all pulling for him, and I understand where he's at. It's heartbreaking. And I can't really comment beyond that because I don't know L'Jarius personally, so I'm not going to go there. But just from what it means for this team, when you say they're missing L'Jarius because he's become so good, because he's come such a long way in 2 seasons, and the only way that you can replace him is by putting an all-pro safety into that slot and replacing him with Tyrann Mathieu, that says something about just how good L'Jarius Sneed is. That is a big part. But it also takes the whole secondary coming together, and that's important. That's when you get the things from Hughes. Jaron Reed getting the first thing off, getting that punch out as well. Like the Chiefs, I feel like there are 2 things. A lot of people want to chalk this up to the whole, they had a meeting on the Arrowhead pregame and all that stuff. And I get that. It certainly isn't a lack of motivation. But I will argue, too, if I know this team and the way that they go about building their locker room and building their camaraderie, I'll bet a lot of this aggression, a lot of this increased play was specifically in support of not having Sneed, wanting to show out for him and without him. So I would say that was a big catalyst as well. Only the guys in the locker room will ever truly know, but that's where I'm coming at here. Bandwagon have sent an email about trying to get into the Discord last week. Okay, I thought I got you a reply as well. If not, check your junk email filter, because I think I did send that. If not, I will try to double check and get you that again, folks. If you want to get into the Discord, it is a members Discord, and there's some new shirts available for the members that you can only get over there in the Discord. And to do that, you have to be a member of this channel. And there's a join button over here on computer, and it's right next to the RGR on mobile. And once you become a member, as long as you subscribe at rookie level and above, you get an invite to the Discord. And that's our private community for our members that Stevie and Gooch and Aaron run, along with a bunch of our contributors and all of our members that choose to participate. It's by no means required. It's a perk for the memberships. And that said, bandwagon, check that again. And if not, I'll get you another invite for sure. Let's see. A lot of familiar faces in here. I hope you guys are doing well. Gooch is saying rounding into form at the right time, it looks like. And that's exactly how it feels to me. We've seen incremental updates, right? Like we've seen Jaron Reed and Melvin coming along the last few weeks. But the thing, and I wrote this a couple of times today too, is it's not just individual efforts. They are playing well. That first twist that Melvin and Chris Jones got home on today, that is a byproduct of play intensity, but playing together, practicing together. That's getting to the point where you've got that timing down. I thought it was real slick, and that one moved real well. If I get a chance to do film this week, I will break that one down. There's another player or two that I personally want to break down. We'll see what Dan has planned, and we'll get there from there. But rounding the form, you're absolutely right. I got the run game going, and I know that everybody's going to say, "Well, the run game's not that important." It is important. It's not the key, but it's also that you keep plotting and you keep breaking through when you're not getting the big plays. Chiefs showed that they could, break big plays even against too high, which was the majority of what they saw today. When I was able to track, the Raiders mostly went to a too high like everybody else in the league has done. They did at several times when they elected to stay single high. They ran double robber a couple of times, and that's important too because it gives you a double underneath zone with the cover three over the top. And that's a way to confuse things, but also to get a lot of guys in short areas where they can try to break on the ball and take things away. That's why that long play, the 38-yarder to Tyreek Hill, was even more impressive because he had to belly that back and forth. And I even retweeted the next gen stats so you could see the dots and see the path of his route. He had to take it 2 S-curves in order to get that to break open. That was a heck of a route, and I think it was really important for keeping the momentum going for that one. So, Gooch, I'm with you 100%. They're rounding into form really well. Judy, welcome. Glad you made it. Lego, a lot of members in the chat tonight, and I'm really glad to see that. I'm going to do the Locked On Chiefs show later, and Locked On Draft will come out after that. That should be pretty interesting. We're going to run our first complete mock draft for this week. Your boy Gore had an explosive play, and I was really glad to see that. That, again, is perseverance. And I tweeted it out this way, and what I mean by this, in case you guys didn't see it, is RB-C. That's running back by committee. And it's been a dirty word in the NFL the last 10 years, right? But this is starting to show why. Darrell, explosive in the pass game, ho-hum in the run game. Clyde, busting through on a couple of plays. Like, I thought Clyde, while it wasn't an overall, like, super explosive game overall for him, I got to look at the numbers again. He went for 37, so even under 4 yards of carry, but they were grinded out. He was pushing the pocket, clearly getting into the end zone. When you're in goal line situations, that's going to limit your total yardage, but it was productive. Then Darrell in the pass game, what was he, 2 for 8 on the ground, and then the big explosion from Gore. So now you have 3 backs that are showing you in different ways that can contribute to the offense and keep things rolling if you get to the point where Patrick's not able to pick apart what's going on. So I think that is like, it's a fallback, but it's a really good fallback to have. And you have to maintain balance in order to maintain the whole momentum of the whole offense. So a lot of good things going on here. Whether it was more motivation or whether it was situational things, there was a lot of concentration today on punching at the ball, trying to take it away. Like, we see Tyron do it every week, and we've almost become numb to it, right? Tyron's always trying to rip the ball out no matter what, even sometimes forsaking the tackle in order to try to do that. But now the whole team doing it, this is what happens. This is a product of that effort. Getting this many turnovers, it just seals the game for you. You don't have to do that much work because you're getting it done by taking the ball away. Jimmy, nothing like a Raider game to cure what ails you. And that's a legitimate point. And that's another thing that I had in here. I retweeted, I think it was Dan Graziano today as well, to point out that, yeah, this is a great win. This is dominance. That's why the thumbnail says what it does. But it's also the fact that you've played the Raiders twice in the last 4 weeks. That means something too. They are plummeting out the bottom of the NFL standings. And so it's a little bit over the top in terms of like, it looks a little bit shinier than it really is, right? And we have to keep that in perspective because you want to make sure that you continue to go through. You got a short week here to get to the Chargers, and you have to take that away from them. You can't let Mike Williams do what Mike Williams does to you. You can't let Justin Herbert get on a roll. This defense has to be this dominant. I think Melvin Ingram is going to have some say in that. I almost said Gordon again. You guys know how bad I am in Melvin's name. Playing his old team, that kind of thing. Like, hopefully that will be another lift that they clearly need. And we'll get them through that one. So let's see what else. Just the fact, and I was very keen on this too, is as I walk through my notes, a lot of, hey, the front four is all getting there. Everybody's getting a rotation, getting a hit on the quarterback. But I have that in the first quarter. I have it in the second quarter. I hit in the late third quarter. I was like, they're still getting there until they got taken out and started getting, some rest all the way around. Backups came in and kept that pressure on. So that's the key. This is the oppositional force. Like, the back end's been pretty good. The front end was lacking, and now you're getting this, and now you can converge and run the whole thing together. It's going to make the next end of the regular season and clearly into the playoffs a nice run for this team. I thought Willie Gay was very active and made some nice plays. He didn't get a lot of action. I'd have to see, what did he finish with the game? He finished with just 5 combined, 4 solos. A little bit behind Nick, who Nick Bolton finished with 6 combined, 3 solos. But I felt like he ran to the ball. Like, this was, I think, the most base, like, fundamentally strong game from Nick Bolton that we've seen to this point. Coming downhill, attacking the run, attacking the swing passes. I thought he did really good in that aspect. Not turning and running like Willie and Hitch, but doing his job. And I'm really interested to see. I thought I saw a couple of times in alignment where he was where he's supposed to be. We're going to see what the snap counts come out at. So don't miss that. I should probably have the snap counts by tomorrow. So tomorrow night's Q&A. Again, if you're new to the channel, like, sub, and hit the bell. We do Q&A on Monday nights, 6 p.m. Central every week, all year round. I might take a holiday off if the one falls on it. But other than that, it doesn't matter if it's the middle of summer or a week like this where you have things to celebrate. You'll get Q&A, your questions answered on Monday nights. And then Seth and I talk a lot on Thursday nights on a live stream as well. Okay, that's a bunch of mine. Let's get back to your questions and super chats. Why less Baker and more Hughes, do you think? That's a good question. I don't know if it was just the vibe that they had this week. I don't know, quite frankly, with the volume that Baker played last week. He practiced. We didn't see him miss any practice, but maybe they were looking to take some of the reps off of him. That could be why too. And again, just getting that rotation. I did feel like, and this is like the first note that I made, like, oh, they got up with a defensive play early, and now like the script doesn't look very aggressive to me. It felt very like methodical. And so maybe it was generally like, hey, we're already up. We feel like we're going to route this team. Let's take it off a little bit and protect some of our guys. That's why you saw Armani Watts come into the game later. You saw a lot of the backups come in. And maybe that had something to do with it too. Like, let's not stress Baker back to back. I mean, I don't know. Hughes was out there on play 1, so I don't know. I think at that point, when you're talking beyond the top 3, Snead, Ward, Fenton, I think it's very much about how they practice in the week that determines who plays where. That'd be my guess. Jaden, thank you again. Nice to see you. CH looked like Jamal and Williams looked like jumping in and like Holmes running into the end zone. Yeah, I mean, it was a nice day for the RBs. Like, they all showed some spark in one way or the other. And that RB by committee, RB-C is what I'm going to use. I might even just use RBC. That's significant because that saves wear on everybody and saves everybody deeper into the postseason. That's going to be key. Continuing, in fact, I'm going to try to refresh the standings right now because I have a feeling as we watch this, the Chiefs are a step closer to where they need to be to try to secure that first round bye. Certainly with the loss for the Ravens, that's going to help. They now have a loss beyond what the Chiefs have. I think the Titans won today, so we're still even there. We're still even with the New England Patriots, but it just takes one loss by each of those teams and the Chiefs taking care of business, and they can have that number 1 seed. That's what it's going to come down to. Chris Jones is a beast. Thank you, DT. And I think as much as he wanted to play outside, I think we've seen him not only get back to like normal and play well, but he's upped his game since going back to tackle. And I think that, again, when all 4 of your front 4 are getting things done and making contact with the quarterback, that's what you have to then protect everything else and make everything else come together. That pressure is the catalyst. That's the spark. You can have big plays on the back end, and they've had some, obviously. Even credit to Sorensen again. Tyrann Mathieu with 2 fumble recoveries. Like, there's been a lot going on, but it starts with that. It sparks from the front. If you can get pressure, that leads to a lot of these things. Thank you as always, DT. Thank you, Sexy. Appreciate it. Aaron Morrow is the best mod. He's been the only mod on this channel. He's the only one there will be. Might have some help, but he will be the mod father. And I hope that you guys can appreciate how well this particular chat on this channel runs. And it's because of Aaron, because I'm terrible at keeping my focus on questions and the chat. So I couldn't do it without him. And as well as all the other guys that chip in, Cole and Stevie and Gooch, and taking care of business when they can. We're all here to try to make this a good place to be for a fan, whether you're a Chiefs fan or whether you're coming on. There's going to be more bandwagon fans coming now, you guys. So be prepared for that. That is going to happen. And you know what? They can pick up one of the Kingdom shirts. Welcome. We'll let new people in. I think we should. That's an important thing. Because it's just going to keep growing. But thank you for pointing out, Aaron. Appreciate that. Hold Eckler 100 or less. Will they? I guess that's the question. Will they hold Eckler under 100? I would like to. He's slippery in a way that I think what they faced in the last few weeks has not been. But I don't care. If he goes over 100, as long as he doesn't, if he isn't scoring 3 times with that 100, I think that they can survive Eckler without a problem. But they've been really good against the run yet. So I would guess he's under 90 on the day is my thought. Let's see. Caden, thank you. If only we played the Raiders every game. Yeah, that's a fair point, at least this season, right? Jaden, thank you again. Who was calling the plays today, and where's Dan? Dan's just running a little bit late. I'm just going to keep on yakking. He'll be here eventually. I think it was more Andy today. It felt like that to me. And if it was EB, good for him, because it felt better paced after the 15. I actually felt like it picked up pace after the 15 and still didn't like abandon the run. There wasn't a ton of volume. Let me double check that. There was what? 19, 22, 23 called runs versus 24 attempts. So that's going to equate out to probably about 26, 27 dropbacks. That's great balance. Now, having the lead allowed them to do that, and I think kept it to the point where they could do that a little bit more easily without like feeling that they had to press. That certainly was an advantage. But that however they got there, and that's what I'm going to take away from it. Thank you, Jaden. You can get it in the RGR store. You can get that. A link in the little box that drops down. There's also ones in the description of this video. You can get the new stuff. And the non-member shirts, I have a couple new designs. They should be coming out next week. Look for those. I think you guys will dig them. They should be able to be there for Christmas or whoever you want to give them away to. And Red, I did find your email this weekend. I got to get back to you on that as well. Folks, if you do join the memberships and you want into the Discord, I just need you to send me an email right here at rgrpodcasts@gmail.com. That will help me. And then what I'll do is you get an invite. I send you the link to the Discord and you join the community that way. That is the way that it goes, so long as I am paying the correct amount of attention. Now, let's see. I missed a couple super chats. I want to get back to those. Ooh, I missed several. Shoot. Okay. Let me make sure that I get the super chatters. The game was too close for comfort, Lego. Well, I'm glad that you finally found some comfort in it. Good for you. Did Ryan already talk about the Josh Gordon TD? I have not gotten there yet, Finn. It is definitely on my list. And not that it was just one play. That he got another reception. makes me feel like they've been reluctant to do anything specifically for him, but that was a perfect play. That's one that I will try to break down myself this week. The first TD for Josh Gordon in a Chiefs uniform. Let's see. VJ, I don't think I've answered one of your questions. Welcome. Frank Clark did Melvin spin for almost a sack. Yeah, I mean, Frank spun a lot in his career too. He looked like he's upped his effort level a little bit since Melvin arrived, and I'm really glad to see it. Sometimes elite athletes need to feed off of each other. They have trouble initiating, but especially if you can rabbit them a little bit, somebody else can come in and really push and provide that competition level. I think that excellent players feed off of that and improve. Josh Gordon getting used, running backs getting used to the offense. Looking good today. What are your thoughts? I'm really happy for Gordon, and I'm happy more so for the offense because now everyone who has to go study that film, the Chargers for Thursday, the Steelers after that, and everybody in the postseason, they have to go back and say, well, Gordon hasn't been doing anything, but all of a sudden he popped up already. He had 2 receptions, and one of them was for a TD, and it looked pretty dang easy. Like, that's important. And I think, let's see, I want to make sure he did have another target that wasn't a catch. I'm going to have to go back and check on that one. But this makes everybody have to study the Chiefs tape harder. The underhand passes today. Nice wrinkle getting it to the running back, which is like, not only a fake, but now back to the guy that you're faking to. Like, that is the third turn. You had the one, you had the wing, you had the tight end. Now you're back to the running back. It's another thing that teams have to study, and that's good for the whole offense and being able to be efficient and keep defenses on their toes. Dirty. Chiefs are third now. Yes, they're behind Tennessee. They're behind New England, but they are in third place. That's fine. Third, fourth doesn't really matter to me. I'm talking about the one with the week off. That's what I'm talking about. That's going to be the focus from here on out because, quite frankly, anything else, I think next week they'll mathematically guarantee themselves a wild card. Maybe I'm wrong about that. It might take 2 or 3 more weeks now that I think about it. Might be Pittsburgh. But it's about keeping that number 1 in sight. And so as these teams, somebody's going to knock off the Patriots. I think the Patriots are a little bit of a paper tiger right now. I don't think they're as good as everyone seems to want to anoint them, especially when you're winning games without throwing 4 passes. So let's keep it real for a little bit. I think we're going to get there. Hey, Shawn made it. I know it's tough. You're leaving the stadium, everything, Shawn. I send everybody, go back and watch Shawn's video from this morning and go check out his channel. It's in the chat and it's in the description of this morning's video. So easy way to go subscribe to Shawn over there. Brother Rick, what happened to Jerick McKinnon? McKinnon went to IR. I think it was the knee, or was it a hamstring? I don't know. It was one of those. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. It's not season ending, but that's why he was not there. And that's why Gore got his shot. And that's why I was glad to see Gore make the most of it. Gore's done more of his opportunities this season than I feel McKinnon has. So I'm glad McKinnon's here. And I do think he has that extra gear. But right now, in terms of taking the bull by the horns, when you have an opportunity, it's been Gore that stepped up and done that. And that's what I like to see. Most complete 3-phase game this season. Yes, I think that's very safe to say, William. And I agree with you. It's a great confidence builder as well. And McCole Hardman, kudos to him. I thought McCole put out great effort today too. He got a couple of targets too, right? Yeah, he had the big long one, but he also had one that he had to work for too. So like it was a little bit of everything. Can be really interested to see what the snap counts come out to, because like, let's see, Hill had 4 targets, Kels had 4 targets, and everybody else fell from there. Again, Byron Pringle only had the 1 target, made a big play out of it. So kudos for him too. Mac, thank you for the super chat. Now that was fun that they won't sleep on the Logan. I agree with you. And I think, and I don't know if that was just them trying to motivate themselves or if that was them trying to be disrespectful. Every image that I've seen has been very looking like they're rallying on there and talking trash about that logo. So, hey, I said it on Gary V's draft diehards or diehard dialogue this week for DraftKings. If you guys missed that, I put a link in the Twitter feed. You can find me at Ryan Tracy NFL, all one word. And I talked to Gary V and Marcus Mosher, and we were talking about that. And I said, you know what? If you're going to continue to play, the single high cover 3 scheme that Gus did last time, just be stubborn about it. You're just waiting to wake the giant and have him smash you. And that's exactly what they did today by doing that meeting before the game. It's like Gus adjusted. They still ate him up. but then you went and pissed them off in the beginning. It's just silly. It's unprofessional, and quite frankly, you get what you deserve if you're going to try and piss off a sleeping giant like that. You know, walk lightly. That would be my advice for you if you're going to play these Chiefs. Ooh, Willie, I like where you're coming from, but they're nowhere near that Bears team. Let's be real. They look good for a modern defense. They are nowhere as dominant. Even today, that was. Ooh. I have trouble when anybody tries. Even I'll take the Bears over the 2000 Ravens defense. Sorry, Rex, but the truth's the truth. Yes, that's exactly what it was. In a really sad development, Legarius left the team because his brother was killed over the weekend. And I go back to, I think this team rallied around Legarius to play for him, to up their game for him so that he can go take care of his family, do what he has to do, and not have to worry about a guy that is usually the energy giver. He is usually one of the guys that sparks the defense because of his all-out play and his improvement over the season. So it was really great to see the defense kind of pay him back for that when he can't be available. Did our rookie tight end, Noah Gray, get any snaps? He did. He had two nice blocks that I saw. I don't think he was targeted. Let me check. No, he was not targeted. So while he did get some snaps, I saw him a few times. I don't know the total. I should have snap counts tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know in tomorrow night's stream at 6 p.m. Central. Jaden, thank you again. So do you think Josh Gordon will be used in the red zone a little bit more? I certainly hope so. That route was good. He runs a slant very well. He's got the body to do it. I hope that that's what they're going to go to. What you saw Jody Fortson do early in the season, Josh Gordon should be doing that every game. He certainly has the ability. So I think it's a little bit of cat and mouse about not showing too much with him. And just what I think Andy does is try to get by without giving away his offense any more than he absolutely has to. And I think that is playing in specifically to what's going on with Josh Gordon. Jake, thank you. I can't be the only one who was glad to see Mahomes just take the sack instead of trying to force it. And I made the comment at the time, I completely agree with you. That was more control. That was more discipline in not forcing it. Just sit down, take the sack. The thing that he's got to get to is, can he remember to do that when it's a tie ball game or they're only up a few points? Like, that's when he has to do that. Today was pretty easy because of the lead. There's no reason to risk it. When he feels a reason, that's when it's going to be a problem. And I just got a text. We're going to see if this is Dan. Oh, okay. He said he is running late. He's not going to make it today. So he'll be back, should be there tomorrow. Dan sends his apologies. He would love to see you guys, and we'll have him on tomorrow night and go through the questions. So Dirty Hall, I want the number 1, too. But you asked where they were in the standings. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Thank you for correcting me there. Jaden, player of the game. Henny, did you see that handoff? Yes. Henny's on fire. I'm just glad Henny didn't have to run around. That made me happier. Let's keep Henny from running. That's kind of one of like the goals for me. Let's see. Tone, how are you? Gore with that home run ability. Yeah, he accelerated really well, but kudos to that offensive line group. That was the backup offensive line crushing hole right there where he just had to be cognizant of that one tackler and boom, he was gone. It was great. What do you think about Hughes today? Yep, I covered both these. Very happy for both of them. And Hughes really, I thought, was a marked difference from where he was before. Let's see. Cole. Here's hoping that they're not sleeping on the Chargers. They're more dangerous than people give them credit for. Yes, absolutely. And Mike Williams has been a thorn in the Chiefs' side for years. So short week. I'm glad they took the starters out and rested them up some. Let them get out of there and take it for real. I'm going to text Dan back real quick. Just say, everybody say hi. And let him know that you've been asking for him. And the Chargers are a good point because in some ways, a Thursday night game against a division opponent is a plus because you know them so well. But in some ways, it's obviously the negative that it always is in the short week, the short travel, the less preparation. But where the bye was, is I expected the Chiefs spent the bye getting ready for the Raiders as well, and they've already done film work. Like they're prepared. I'm not worried about the preparation. It's just the execution for me. Why do the Raiders think a pick is illegal blocking downfield? I don't know what they think anymore. I got to tell you, like I thought the craziness would depart with Gruden. It doesn't seem to, and I'm not sure where it comes from. Why did they start over Niang? Terry, Niang and Fenton both practiced this week, but very limited, basically walkthroughs. So the goal was not to rush them back. If Legarius had not had to leave the team due to his family issue, I don't think Fenton would have played today. I think it would have been Baker and Hughes. So it was being pressed into duty. He was physically prepared, but he hadn't practiced a lot, and they probably would have rather had done that, and that's the same thing with Niang. Niang didn't start because they didn't want to push him back unless they had to. But then when they get an opportunity, I know he had a couple of snaps. I missed him on the touchdown run, but evidently he was out there on that play as well. So again, just trying to loosen him up a little bit. Let's see. Quentin. Oh, I hit it too many times. Gordon had 3 targets on the day, caught 2 of them. I can't remember the one that he didn't catch, but we'll have to go back and see that. Madman, KCT report, the Chiefs blasting wheels on the bus as the Raiders leave. That's funny. Dirty. Mike Williams got put on the COVID list, didn't he? Maybe he'll be out for the Chiefs. I didn't realize that. I had not been paying attention to their roster. If that's the case, then hey, that is a big weapon that they won't have that has been really successful against this Chiefs team for the last couple of years. Thanks. Appreciate that. Overall thoughts. And Trey Hill getting out on the screen was just waiting for his man. Yeah, I mean, Trey had a couple of nice blocks. I don't think he was penalized today. I'm trying to look to see if I can pull that up. I don't think he was. The Chiefs had a grand total of 1 punt. That's what you want. Whether it's ending in time for the half or whatever, or the end of the game, kneel downs, whatever. You only had 1 punt, and that's back to the normal Chiefs process. Can they do this against every team? Can they continue to put out like this on defense and have the output on offense? That's what this season's going to come down to. How much longer do you see Henny playing for us? I'd like to see Shane Bichelle be the immediate backup to Mahomes sooner rather than later, so another team doesn't poach him, as nearly happened. I mean, that's definitely going to be a factor in it, but I think Henny has 1 more year under contract, if I remember. I don't think they're going to mess with it until then. But then to try and up the pay again for your backup, I think that's probably where the rubber's going to hit the road, is my thought. Bradley, with the Thursday game looming, why play starters into the 4th quarter when we're dominating? Just to make sure, because if you guys saw my pregame, my prediction on Locked On Chiefs, I was concerned about them letting up and letting them come back. So I was actually glad to see that. A whole quarter off, that's good rest. Pushing a whole half, like trying not to play them in the second half, it wasn't there, even though you were up by a lot. You want to make sure that you maintain that and at least grab the momentum in the second half before you start taking starters out. So that's really the only reasoning. You don't want to allow a crack that really lets them back in. I was glad to see them do that, because in years past, Andy would probably taken it easy and let them back in. Love beating the Raiders. Negative was that Wiley got abused today. Your thoughts about the right tackle situation? I didn't feel that he got abused. He had a couple of plays he lost. I thought he had a lot of good blocks that he won. So I don't necessarily agree with that. But yes, Niang is an upgrade. So it looked like Niang was mobile and healthy. If that continues, maybe this was one more. And the reason he didn't start was to then just let him have a couple extra days rest and then put him in against the Chargers. My guess is that's what we're going to see. Let's see here. Philip, who's the best player in the Chiefs secondary? It's Matthew, and then it's Snead. There are another couple of guys that are making some inroads. Right now, it's probably Thornhill and then Ward, and that may shift, and Fenton's probably the next guy. The key is going to be able to try to keep as many of them as you can. We're going to have to see. Mike Williams is playing right now. Okay. Thanks, Harlan. I appreciate that. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up, so I didn't even know that there was a COVID possibility. So cheers. Appreciate that. I'll probably watch that game here in a little bit. Sorry, I meant O-line thoughts. On overall, I thought they moved well. I would have liked a little bit more. I don't know if Tooney was having a bad day. I didn't feel like he got a whole lot of push overall, and he had those couple of penalties or a penalty, and then I think it was Orlando that had the other. So like, I don't think they were quite up to their normal performance, but certainly not bad in any way. I do want to see them get a little bit more push off the line. So that's where I'm coming from. Okay, let's see. Dan responded just to make sure. Okay, so he said he'll be on tomorrow, so we'll take care of that then. I am going to go record the Locked On Chiefs show as the pressers are wrapping up, so make sure you check that out. It's here on YouTube. You can go sub over there, or you can listen on any audio platform. It's free everywhere, so remember that. Let's see. Long was not active. I think he was. I'm not sure he was on either, though, if I remember it. I think they're just taking their time. He's going to be, I think, like the Wiz situation. If anybody goes down, he's the guy they put in, is what I'm thinking down the stretch. So we'll be back tomorrow. We'll look at snap counts, those kind of things. Answer all your questions tomorrow night at 6 Central. Make sure you're here. Like, sub, hit the bell if you're new. If you hit and join the members, make sure you email me with your Discord email so I can get you an invite there. Thank you guys for spending your time with us. We'll talk to you a little bit later. Enjoy the evening and this win, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Bye.